Hello, hello. This is Gerald Celente. It's Wednesday, December 15th, 2021, and we are honored, privileged, and very fortunate to have with us again today Judge Andrew Napolitano, the #1 authority, judicial authority in America that has the knowledge, the wisdom, and has also done it in words and deeds of the Constitution, what it's about, our rights, our freedom, how they're being lost, and how we have to get it back, because if we don't, it won't be a very Merry Christmas. And thank you, Judge Napolitano, for being here and speaking about Christmas. You have a wonderful article that came out today, Taking Christmas Seriously. And I take Christmas very seriously because right over here, I have some strufoli.
So for the people who are watching us that are not descended from Neapolitans or Sicilians, struffola, which is basically fried dough drowned in honey and sometimes with a little sweetening on top of it.
Yep, there they are.
The classic, I don't want to say breakfast because we eat it at all 3 meals at Christmas time. My grandmother's made it. My mother made it. I think my parents would have been divorced a long time ago if my mother had stopped making struffola at Christmas.
And I used to roll it out as a kid.
Right.
And cut it.
Right. One of your many fans who writes flattering things about Gerald and the judge said, "You're driving me crazy. I can't enjoy cannoli or Schwierdel virtually. I have to have it in my mouth." Now you're doing it again with the struffola.
And, of course, a great cup of espresso, ground by hand.
Right. Good old-fashioned New Jersey water. You know what, Gerald? You need a sense of humor to get through these dark times. God had a sense of humor. He gave us a sense of humor. We laugh at silly things like this, and it helps us get through the day. But these are very, very, very dark days. There were times when I thought there was a light at the end of the tunnel. I don't see that light anymore. There's more and more darkness every time you turn around.
Yeah, and as you said, you have to enjoy as much life as you can.
Right.
And that's a matter of fact, when we sent out the Trends Journal this week, and that was, when you see the cover, it was Silent Night.
Yes.
And,
I got the double entendre there. It's profound.
Yeah.
It's profound. Our joy is repressed. It's silence. So the kidding around that we do about espresso and Schwierdel and struffola is fun and funny and good for the system, but it doesn't neutralize the dark, doesn't completely or even effectively neutralize the darkness that's around us.
Yeah, and my message at the end was, that, live it up. Do meet with the people you love to be with, friends, family, loved ones. Have a great time. Live the best you can, because, we all know the downs in life. And as you said, it's getting much worse. And by the way, Joy from Tennessee sent me this, so thank you, Joy. Okay. So your article, again, about Christmas time and taking Christmas seriously. And you talk about charity and Scrooge. It's a great story. So say how you got into this, because Scrooge, we all know about the Scrooge story. And oh, by the way, just before I go into it, you said about having a good time and humor. What of these politicians and bureaucrats out there, and that's all they are, they're bureaucrats, they spelt it wrong, because the little jerks that are in the bureaucrat business, these are people that can't get a job in the real world, and they suck into the political system so they can get taken care of, and because they don't have the skills to be way up there, they're into the system, and we know what the system gives us. Show me one great thing that the government has done.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing.
The government can't fill potholes. It can't stop robocalls. It can't deliver the mail. And it wants to take care of our health. Yep. You know what? You made me think of this. These bureaucrats, or bureaucrats as you call them, are also humorless.
That's what I'm saying.
The last great American with a sense of humor was Ronald Reagan. He's been dead for 20 years.
Yep.
These people are humorless. The governor of New York ordering masks in public streets is humorless. She doesn't understand human nature.
Well, she's, again, been sucking, they're a part of the political system. They never work a day in their lives, and they're clowns. It's a clown show and a freak show right in front of our eyes. Again, we talked about humor. It's a sick joke.
Yeah.
They have no humor at all. They're arrogant, moronic, pathological liars, sociopaths, and psychopaths, and they're in charge of life.
I saw a play at a college not far from here, professional actors, of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. We all know the story. I was deeply moved by it. The transformation in Scrooge from being a rasping, grasping old miser to a generous, joyful old man is remarkable. And it makes a couple of points. One is the difference between the rasping, grasping, and the generous one is a sense of humor. He had a sense of humor after his nightmares on Christmas Eve. And the other is it's never too late to transform yourself from being a selfless, covetous person to one who opens one heart and gives things away. But I know there's a line in there that you like. Knowing your brain, I wrote this line for you. Yes. It has to do with the government and charity.
Yep. You say Dickens does not get into the theology of Christ's birth. We write the Scrooge story. But he emphasizes the value of charity to human happiness and eternal salvation. The word charity comes from the Latin, how do you say that, caritas?
Caritas.
Caritas, which means heart, because charity is giving from your heart. It is impossible to be charitable with someone else's assets because that is not giving from the giver's heart. And then you go on to write, when the government claims it is being charitable with your money, it is looking for political support from those who have received what has taken from you. That's not charity. Charity is freely giving, not, this is a brilliant line, governmentally taken.
You know, the great Murray Rothbard used to tell a story. You're sitting at home one night watching television. There's a knock at the door. You open up the door, and there's a guy with a gun. The guy says, "Give me your money. I want to give it away in your name." He said, "What kind of a nut are you? I'm going to call the police." He goes, "Don't bother. We are the police."
There you go.
That's what the government does. And then it claims it's being charitable with other people's money. That's not charity. That's theft. Well, and it's a lesson that we need to learn and need to be reminded of this time of year, because the government is about to start giving away goodies. I don't know how much of this nonsense that Biden wants to get past. Joe Manchin's going to let him get through the Senate. But whatever it is, they're going to start giving away goodies like there's no tomorrow and claim they're being charitable. They're not being charitable. They're being crooks.
Again, look at the whole vaccine thing. They say that it's for free. It's not for free. You're stealing our money and you're giving it to the drug dealers.
Right.
The drug dealers that are making tens of billions of dollars on this stuff.
Right.
Scores of billions of dollars. And they say it's free. There's your example. The government, you're not giving them anything. And again, that's what people get in your head. They're not big pharma. They're drug dealers. So let's call a spade a spade.
Right.
And again, you know, what you're writing here about charity, think about it. Think about, here, since the COVID war began, median household incomes declined at the greatest rate ever. Meanwhile, the billionaires worldwide, they only got like a couple of, I think about $8 trillion richer or something, you know.
Oh, boy.
Ridiculously richer. Just think of the charity, the true charity that Dickens writes about. If these billionaires started giving charity to people like you, me, Ron Paul, RFK Jr., others that are fighting for freedom, peace, and justice. Think if they gave us $1 billion to spread the word of freedom, because one of the other issues about freedom and the freaks that are in control, look what just happened with that Huckleberry over there. What, another body up there, that's the governor of New York, about the mandate that if you work in the healthcare system, you must get the drug dealers shot.
I was crushed at that when she issued that everybody who works in healthcare, we're not talking about Medicare or Medicaid. We're talking about everybody in healthcare, your private physician, your physician's private personal employees, as well as those who work for the government in the state of New York must be vaccinated. So about 24 healthcare professionals challenged this on the basis that their religion either prohibits them from taking vaccines, some of which originated in the tissue of aborted fetuses. Others have a belief that all vaccines are immoral, and that's a bona fide religious belief. They challenged this before a federal judge in Western New York, and they won. And then the state appealed that to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals at Manhattan, three-judge panel, and the state won 3-0. And then that was appealed to the Supreme Court, a Supreme Court known for upholding religious liberty. And Monday night, after the close of business, they issued a one-line order denying the appeal. Justice Gorsuch issued a 40-page dissent, the likes of which I've never seen.
Wow.
Which basically rips from pillar to post the majority. The majority was the three liberals, plus the Chief Justice, plus Justices Gorsuch and Barrett, two Roman Catholics who were usually on the side of religious liberty. They must have been asleep. Justice Gorsuch's dissent, joined by Justice Clarence Thomas and Justice Sam Alito, said, "Our Constitution is intended to prevail over the passions of the moment, and the inalienable rights recorded in its text are not matters to be submitted to votes, and they depend on the outcome of no elections." Hallelujah. There it is. Our rights are inalienable, natural. They belong to us as human beings. They don't come from the government, and the government can't take them away. Yet, by a majority of 6-3, the court allowed the governor of New York to take those religious liberties away from everybody who works in healthcare in the state. That's hundreds of thousands of human beings whose religious freedom she couldn't care less about, even though she took an oath to uphold the First Amendment. The first liberty in the First Amendment is the free exercise of religion.
Oath.
I'm pulling my hair out over this, Gerald.
No, it's terrible. They're robbing our freedom right in front of our eyes, and in so many different ways. Look what just happened in New York City with the clowns over there. You don't have to be a citizen of America. You don't have to be a citizen of this country, but you could vote in the elections because I'm some little piece of garbage political crap. I want your votes. And I want you all to vote for me so you don't have to be an American citizen. Shove the Constitution, shove the Bill of Rights up your you-know-what, because we have criminals in charge. What do you say about what just happened in New York?
So the City Council of New York is about to go out of power on December 31st, and the mayor's about to go out to power on December 31st, so they don't have to answer to anybody. So they just enacted this thing in their lame duck time period. Who knows how the new mayor and the new city council feel about it. But what they did was say that anybody who is here with a green card, citizen or not, can vote in municipal elections. Here's what I say about it. The Constitution of the state of New York forbids it. You don't even have to get to the federal level. The Constitution of the state of New York requires that you be a citizen before you can vote in any elections in New York. So in my opinion, Gerald, as soon as this is challenged, it will be enjoined and eventually it will be repealed. The other thing I want to point out to you, Governor Hochul of New York is on a tear. Never mind the healthcare workers being vaccinated. She ordered that all, you ready for this? All persons in the state who are not vaccinated, whenever they're in public areas, must wear masks. And then she ordered the county executives, there are 71 counties, she ordered the county executives to enforce it. 12 of those county executives said, forget about it. We're getting people vaccinated. We're doing other things. We're not going to enforce your unconstitutional edict. It isn't even a statute written by the legislature. One of them said, can you imagine my health officials and my police walking down the street looking to see, are you wearing a mask or you're not wearing a mask? We're going to stop you, give you a mask, and if you don't put it on, we're going to fine you. Don't the police have better things to do than that? We're talking about human beings in public spaces, out in the open. How can she control your face?
Again, we write a magazine, as you well know,
right.
And it's 100. This week was 147 pages. We only put facts in there. According to the scientific fact, your odds of getting the virus outside are less than 1% without a mask on. So why are you wearing this mask? Number two, always the masks, here, these masks that imbeciles wear, read the box. Here it is, these. Ready? Here's the box.
What does it say on that box?
These masks do not eliminate exposure to the risk of any disease or infection. But you better wear one. You better wear one because I'm the governor. Heil Hitler. Yeah. Oh, Hitler would have been, he would be so happy right now. Look what's going on over there in Austria.
Right.
No vax, no freedom.
Right.
Germany, that little clown boy that just got elected, like all the politicians, lied his way into office, said there wouldn't be any vax mandates. Well, I changed my mind now that I got elected, and now you're going to have to get the vax and no freedom. And going back to what you said about the healthcare workers, again, only the facts. A third of the healthcare workers, little polls, show they don't want to get vaxxed. And you know why? Because they're healthcare workers.
And they see what the vaccines do to people.
Exactly. They're not Trump supporters, little Donnie Lemon, you little morons out there. Oh, they're Trump supporters. Oh, they're Trump supporters. Grow the hell up. Yeah. Oh, we were at Ron Paul's War on Us event. Were there any Trump supporters there?
It was not a Trump event at all. You know, you mentioned Austria, which is predominantly a Catholic country. So the Archbishop of Vienna has organized public gatherings to say the rosary, to pray that the government will change its mind. Now the government has a serious challenge on its hands. Is it going to disrupt these public gatherings to say prayers? I don't know where this is going to end, Gerald.
You can't make this up.
Like we said at the beginning of the show, we have a sense of humor, but the world is dark. There is darkness all around us. Even a year ago, I would have said there's light at the end of the tunnel. I don't see that light anymore. I see just more darkness.
Well, they're selling this Omicron fear. Again, one person allegedly died of only 8 billion.
Right.
And the clown boy over there, that Boris Johnson over there in the UK, yeah, you put an FU in that K with that clown. You look at that jerk. Oh, he was caught. The reason he's doing this is because he was caught having a Christmas party when he locked down every place else. Right, and now he's getting the people's attention off it.
So the Christmas party was in his own residence.
Yeah.
And he claimed he did not know that no one was wearing masks in his own house.
Yeah. These are the, you look at that guy. You know,
I wish he had been honest and said, you know what, it's my own house. They don't have to wear masks in my house. I wish he had been honest.
Yeah, no, but he's not because he's a politician. And
Correct.
Politicians aren't honest. Politics, right? Suck the blood out of you.
There you go.
And that's who they are. So, you know, what's going on now is unprecedented. And again, think of how all this started when the COVID war began. Shows you how wild this is and how we lost our freedom. Remember, they're going to flatten the curve?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to flatten the curve. 2 weeks. They make these numbers up. Oh, we're going to keep this mandate going on till January 18th. Why not January 17th?
I like to quote our mutual friend Lou Rockwell, who likes to quote the great St. Augustine, which is that inside of these politicians, there is something called libido dominandi, the lust to dominate.
Yep.
They really, whether they're Republicans or Democrats, whether they're progressives or liberals, only the libertarians don't have this. Only the Ron Pauls and Thomas Masseys and Rand Pauls don't have this. All the others want to tell us how to live in good times and in bad, and they'll make up the bad times just to give themselves more power. And when the good times come, the power that they took and exercised in the bad times, they keep it.
Yep. You know, again, when you think about how all this started, what was the first thing people did? They ran out and bought toilet paper.
Right.
You can't make this crap up.
Gerald, I'm looking forward to our dinner together.
Me too.
Because we're going to laugh and laugh and laugh at the craziness and silliness around us. And then we're going to go back to work.
Yep. Judge, thank you so much for being on. Thank you so much for all you do. Everybody listening, please understand what you're getting from the judge and how much we care about freedom, peace, and justice. And do what you can, you know, spread the word, support those you believe in. And most of all, during, you know, only during Christmas time, you're supposed to talk about, I wonder how Christmas sales will do.
Wow.
But, you know, it's about the birth of a person that brought love, joy, freedom,
and
passion, and peace to life on earth. Thank you, Judge, for being on.
Thank you, Gerald. It's the highlight of my week.
Thank you. Ciao, ciao.